I see a lot of videos of people pitching their ideas for a Spider-Man movie, whether that be a legacy sequel to a dead franchise, or planning out the entire next MCU trilogy. I love these kinds of videos, and I think it's really cool to hear so many other people's ideas. I was considering making a video about this myself where I could share ideas too, but my ideas were pretty similar to most everyone else. I think we're all on the same page about what we want to see going into the next trilogy. And honestly, if you want to see what I believe to be the definitive series of videos surrounding this topic, I highly implore that you check out Troy Boyle's 3 videos on it. They made me tear up several times, they're great. But scrapping that video gave me an idea for another one. What if I just talked about all the weird and dumb ideas I have for Spider-Man films? And what if I forced a bunch of other YouTubers who are way cooler than me to do the same? And that's exactly what we're gonna do here today. I also just want an excuse to talk about nerdy superhero shit more. I originally created this channel to talk about superhero stuff, but now I primarily talk about video games. So if you're interested, I've made a playlist containing all my superhero content. It's mainly just Batman and Spider-Man right now, but I promise I'll start talking about more characters soon.
I'm a little sick, so excuse me if it sounds like I have mesothelioma.
Attention. If you were on that one was diagnosed with mesothelioma.
So, in the year 2000, Neversoft, yeah, that Neversoft, took the engine from that game and made this thing. Well, not that thing.
Leave him alone.
This
Chuckles.
thing.
Spider-Man!
Aside from this game sparking my prepubescent love for Spider-Man, it also produced one of perhaps the most grotesque Spider-Man villains, Monster Ock. After the Carnage symbiote is removed from Cletus Cassidy using this supersonic soundwave device, the symbiote fuses with Doc Ock, forming this absolutely hellish abomination that made its first and last appearance in this game. And you know what? I want it back. Give me a horror film set in Octavius Industries with Otto working with this new symbiote that was recently discovered, and he creates the arms solely to control and manipulate the symbiote because he knows how volatile this symbiote is. Through one way or another, the symbiote combines with him, morphing both Doc Ock and the arms together into this monstrous creature with body horror a la The Thing or some of Cronenberg's works. And then from there, it's just your standard slasher film where this monster is just massacring this laboratory full of employees and yada yada yada. I really just want more Carnage in general. He is such a very diverse character and has some of my favorite comic series in the Spider-Man universe. He's just such a truly rotten Spider-Man villain, and he's definitely not...
I don't want you to freak out, okay?
Oh, that's disgusting.
The most recent and honestly best idea I've had is the Hobgoblin, but he won't just be some rehash of the Green Goblin at all. He's a very unique character if you actually read the comics, and I wish people would give him more credit. But also what I want to do with this character might change some people's minds on him. My weird idea is to make a murder mystery type Spider-Man film, in the vein of Scream or that of the Batman, where Peter has to investigate a series of murders and has to unmask this mysterious goblin before he does any more harm. The villain being a straight up serial killer would separate him from most of the other villains we've seen so far. We've seen guys who kill if they have to, we've seen villains who like to kill, and now we can see one who will kill and does it every chance he gets. Someone who doesn't just like it, but lives for it. I think the Hobgoblin's identity should be a mystery to the audience as well as Peter. We could get to see him using his intelligence to investigate and solve crimes, which isn't really something we've seen him do in the movies before. They could follow the comic route and just have the Hobgoblin be Roderick Kingsley or whatever. Or they could have it be someone closer to Peter like Ned. I don't know, but if done right it could lead to some really well done emotional conflict. Maybe he meets Harry in the next movie and gets all freaked out when he hears the name Osborn, leading him and the audience to suspect Harry to be the Hobgoblin, only to avert it by making it someone else would be really cool. Scream is my favorite horror movie franchise ever, and Spider-Man is my favorite superhero franchise ever, and to have their formulas mixed would simply be incredible. Make that shit right now, Marvel. Or, if you don't like that one, you could always give my boy Sin Eater a spin.
What's going on, guys? It's Trenton from Trenton's Collections here, and Brand Dog, Brand Cat, brand new Chevy Malibu here has asked me to pitch you a Spider-Man movie. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I've read a lot of comics over the years, so I have a couple ideas, but one that stuck out to me is a pretty unique one. Anyways, it goes as follows. A noir thriller based loosely on the Sin Eater storyline. So Spider-Man's an established character. He's got his iconic rogues gallery, a lot of big names, a lot of small names. Well, one day a lot of the smaller names in Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery start getting picked off one by one until it starts to get media attention, and Spider-Man is solely to blame. So he works with Captain Jean DeWolf, a close friend of his, to solve the case with the help of her lovely partner, Stanley Carter. I want to say it's kind of a canon theme to like the Batman movie, as far as how serious everybody takes everything. And like everything's like played straight, like, you know, Spider-Man quips, of course. You've got your colorful costumes and your weird villains and all that, but everything's played straight, like they take everything seriously with this whole universe, because to them this is serious. And of course Peter quips and jokes, but it starts to eat up at him as he feels guilt that he can't protect these small-time criminals here. The movie evolves and it ultimately ends to where Stanley Carter is revealed to be the Sand Eater, and he's killing all these criminals because of his former past and trauma from his parents and stuff like that. And he ends up killing Jean DeWolf in the climax, which ends up throwing Peter into a rage, and he stops him, but he feels all this guilt and horror from it like he does in the original storyline. I think it'll be really interesting to kind of build up this murder mystery plotline. We'll get into use so many of the weirder side of Spider-Man's villains, and not necessarily do like a big budget Green Goblin type film, but more closer to home type of story that you would see in the comics.
Sony has apparently been working on a Sinister Six solo film for like 100 years now, and that's not what I'm here to talk about. They seem to be doing some kind of setup with the Vulture and Morbius, and I'm not fucking here for it. My personal idea for a Sinister Six movie is completely different than what Sony's planning. I think it should be an R-rated comedic but heartfelt team-up movie similar to the Suicide Squad or Guardians of the Galaxy. Speaking of those films, maybe James Gunn could direct it, or if not him, someone like Matthew Vaughn would work really well. And also, fuck Morbius. Here's my team lineup. We're gonna go kinda classic here. Dr. Octopus, obviously. The Sandman, obviously. Kraven, because he's sick and it could set up his solo film. Rhino, because I'm still waiting for a proper adaptation, damn it. Scorpion, because you literally have Michael Mando in the role, why hasn't he returned yet? And last and certainly least is Electro. But not Jamie Foxx Electro, but a different type of Electro, more similar to this Spider-Man game. Get a real greasy and slimy, sarcastic version of the character going. Have him be played by Machine Gun Kelly or something, I'm not fucking joking. And for God's sake, let this movie have stakes. Let some of the characters die. I know people don't need to die for a movie that has stakes, but this is a theoretical R-rated Sinister Six movie we're talking about. Kill off some of the characters. Please make this, I would literally cry.
Hi, my name is Yush. It's pronounced like Hush, but with a Y instead of an H. And when I heard that Brand Dog was looking for pitches for weird ideas for Spider-Man films, I immediately started brainstorming. Now, I made it a cardinal rule to never talk about Spider-Man on my YouTube channel. But, since this isn't my YouTube channel, let's talk about Spider-Man. Every Peter Parker on the big screen has in some way captured what makes the character so beloved. The responsibility that Tobey Maguire carried, the friendly neighborhood protector Andrew Garfield embodied, the youthful energy Tom Holland brought, and the experienced old dog who still has to learn a few things Jake Johnson's Peter B. Parker portrayed. Regardless of who you like more, each of these adaptations has brought something to the table that fans can look to and say, that's my Spider-Man. But I think with the recent successes of Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Miles Morales, with Peter taking a backseat and instead shifting the lead to someone brand new or new enough in terms of their inception, general audiences have accepted that you don't really need Peter Parker to lead a Spider-Man film. So what, you ask? You want another Miles film? Well, not exactly. That's a 100% guarantee at this point. I want a new Spider-Person on screen, someone who hasn't gotten the chance to yet. But who? Who in this seemingly infinite multiverse Spider-Man now has that we can bring over to the cinematic lens? One who comic fans would instantly recognize but new fans will love. One who can carry all the themes and characteristics of the previous incarnations while also offering something new. Oh my god! That's right. Ben fucking Reilly. I'm making the case that now is the perfect time to finally bring Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider, to the big screen. Before, I was just like every other Clone Saga hater. I didn't understand why Spider-Man needed clones. I didn't understand why everyone loved a copycat beyond the cool outfit. I didn't understand what Ben Reilly fans felt when the recent Amazing Spider-Man Beyond arc completely decimated his character. After reading J.M. DeMatteis' Ben Reilly Spider-Man miniseries that came out back in 2021, I finally understand what makes Ben adored by many. The narrative potential for a Ben Reilly film is impossible to ignore. You could tell a story about how Ben struggles to believe if he is his own person or if he's just doing what Peter would do in a situation. You could explore how different Ben and Peter act as Spider-Man. Is Ben more compassionate, more ruthless? The messed up history of being a clone, thinking you are the real original copy, and finding out you're not, and working hard to accept that while also being Spider-Man would be amazing to see captured in a movie. Ben Reilly naturally lends himself to a more mature level of storytelling, with grander ideas of identity, self-worth, and a plethora of other high-concept questions about life and humanity. I'm not saying you can't tell a mature story with Peter, but I think seeing Ben's perspective on things would be a fresh, more exciting way of telling adult storylines with Spider-Man without getting redundant. Hell, you could just rip this miniseries and turn it into a movie. It's a great read. I highly recommend it, as well as any other Ben Reilly stories out there. Ben Reilly has a lot to offer for Spider-Man fans looking for something more, and I hope one day we all get to experience that together on the big screen. I rest my case. So I guess that's it. I'm just gonna go. Subscribe to Brandog. He's great. And yeah, just gonna get out of here. Just as soon as I can figure out where the fuck I am.
Okay, so Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was a major success. Please make a Spider-Man Noir movie. A super sick black and white gritty Spider-Man movie would just be fucking incredible. You want an actor for him? Just get like Rami Malek, or just make the character older and go with Nick Cage.
I'd heard that after his first recording session, he did a few lines, the director kept making notes, and then Nicholas just turned and he was like, oh, you want me to go full Cage?
Is that all you got? You gonna fight or you just pumping gums, you hard-boiled turtle slapper?
He brought the Cage.
You want a villain? Boom, use any of the amazing and creative villains from the comic run. This movie would slap harder than Bruce slaps his kids. This movie would hit harder than Peter did MJ that one time. And hell, imagine how amazing a 2099 movie would be. They could also use that Hobgoblin design Shattered Dimensions came up with. Hell, you can make any of the Spider-Men / women / non-binary Spideys into their own movie. You can make a Spider-Ham movie. I don't know why you would, but you could. Okay, I saved this for last because we're probably going to see some of these characters soon and I don't really want to put it higher on the list. But like a lot of you, I want to see Black Cat and Hammerhead, and the whole Spider-Man crime family actually. A side of Spidey the films never really explored is his connection to the gangs of New York. Spidey's whole gimmick is standing up for the little guys, so of course you take on these super powerful bullies who think they can run the place. And I want to see Black Cat because if done right she could be one of the best love interests for Peter. Most of the characters' girlfriends are regular people and Black Cat gives him a chance to be in a relationship that actually allows for him to be Spider-Man and actively encourages it. Black Cat is usually written as this overly erotic character who's constantly making sexual jokes, and talking about how bad she wants Peter to web blast her. Gotcha! Which is why I think a lot of people write the character off. But if we get to see a more human side of her, maybe we would like her more. Speaking of supporting characters, since Ned is currently out of the picture, and Harry Osborn's already been done before, maybe Peter's new best friend could be Randy Robertson. He's a very underutilized character, but he's a great friend for Peter Parker. I want to see a live-action Mr. Negative as well. I think the game opened the door for better stories to be written about the character, but it didn't really leave us with much in the end. And last and arguably my most important idea is Hydro Man. I think that would be pretty cool. So anyway guys, there's my weird and dumb ideas. I hope you liked at least some of them. This is a lot of fun to do. I usually don't get to make videos where I just spitball the whole time. Huge thank you to Patrick, Trenton, and Yash for joining me on this video. All their channels will be linked in the description below and I highly recommend you check out all of them. They make amazing content and they're super chill dudes. Let me know if this is something you'd like to see me do again, and be sure to tell me what your ideas are in the comments below. Maybe we could get some nice discussions going, or maybe you can send me your ideas on Twitter. I'm very curious.
I'm the one who called you!